Hi, it's Evie again. I'm here to give you my June wrap up, and I've done quite good this month. I have done 6 books. My first is the series, the Hunger Games series. That way around? No, that way around. Yeah. So I did a buddy read with my friend Helen, and which is a first, and we really liked it actually. I was really concerned about because I saw the film first and really liked the first 2 films. I saw part 1 of Mockingjay and I got really anxious about the finale, so I never watched it. And my favourite was The Hunger Games, book 1. And book 2 was good. So if you don't know already, it's about the world is split into 12 districts and the capital, and each year the capital requests 2 people out of each district to play the Hunger Games, and they fight for survival, and only one person can be the champion. And so this year, Katniss from District 12, she volunteers herself when her sister was nominated, and she is also reaped by Peter, and they both go into the Hunger Games, and it's just their story about survival, really. And you do all sorts of things in order to survive. I love that aspect, that where you try to put yourself in her position. Would you do that? Would you do anything in order to sway the audience to curry favour, but then do you get lost into the real emotions behind it? I did like the ending. I was kind of disappointed with Mockingjay where the tributes. So I don't want to spoil it, but obviously Katniss still goes through it. But the other tributes as well, they weren't really fighting in the war. They were just kind of like just walking around and making good videos, I think, and I thought that was a bit of a waste. And I felt that their strengths kind of deteriorated. I mean, they were really strong in 1 and 2, but I'm not quite sure why they didn't really perform. It was, yeah. But I did like the ending overall. I won't spoil it for you, but how the characters change, the relationships change, and yeah, so but I did feel it for the first 100 pages dragged for me actually on Mockingjay. It could have been kind of summarised within 20 pages. But overall, I love the series. My first one is the best one, and actually Helen felt the same too. But yeah, managed to get through a series in 1 month. So I tried to finish off the Women's Prize shortlist, and first one was My Sister the Serial Killer, and this is really easy actually. It's so slight actually. It's only 226 pages. I liked this, I really did. It's really fast. It's about Corriday, and her sister Ayula. They're quite different. So Ayula's beautiful, and she's a favourite of the sisters. Corriday is plain looking, but she's kind, but she doesn't seem to get much luck, and she discovers that Ayula has killed her 3rd boyfriend accidentally, but Corriday's beginning to wonder, is it really accidental? And that's not much of a spoiler because that's like within the first chapter. And alarm bells start to really ring when Ayula seems to catch the eye of one of Koride's friends. And yeah, so that I like it's a tale, like, basically a bit about, sorry, that's Shining. It's a tale. I like the aspect of sibling rivalry, but ultimately it makes you question yourself. How far would you go to protect your siblings, your family, when it comes to your family and those against it? Who would you side with? So I like that that kind of moral background to it, so that's good. It wouldn't be my tip to win the shortlist, but it was a great read, and I did it within a day, so it was yeah, very good. Next one is The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. So this is a retelling of the Trojan War. So Briseis is kind of a pawn between Agamemnon and Achilles. Briseis was a queen before, and when Achilles and his men rampaged her city and took her as slaves, and I like where she is a bit torn, kind of a bit like Stockholm Syndrome, where she has these mixed feelings between, I won't spoil it for you, but between one man that she kind of has mixed friendship feelings, not romantic, but it's kind of, she kind of sees him as a friend. So she has mixed feelings for the other one, where she's afraid of him, but is she also in love with him? It's really fast paced. This is my first book of Pat Barker's, and it's really, I love the language. It's beautiful writing. The pace is really good. It is about war, so there are quite difficult bits about basically women. They were slaved and they weren't given a choice, and they're treated very poorly. But that is war for you. I think a lot of people wanted more from Briseis, because it is called The Silence of the Girls. But I really liked it. I really enjoyed it, and the thing is that those times women didn't have a voice, so I think it was kind of highlighting that too. I'm going to a book club, so it'd be nice to actually share some views on it, but this is one of my favourite books of the year. Last one is Love Interrupted by Simon Thomas. So Simon Thomas was a Blue Peter presenter, and he then was a Sky Sports presenter, and this is a memoir. It talks about his depression and anxiety. It also talks mainly about his wife that was diagnosed with leukemia, and 3 days later she passed away. So he talks about the grief and depression and the anger behind it. It's so raw and honest, and I had to put it down a couple of times because I couldn't stop crying. It's such an important message that life is so fragile. And there are bits where he talks about, oh, if I said this or if I did that, it might have been different. But would it have been different? And the issue is you can't think like that, because you will second guess your actions and you always live with regrets. And I say, live without regrets, learn from your mistakes, and make time for those that are important to you. So I also think that this raises mental awareness, because he talks so openly about his grief, his depression, his anxiety, and for a lot of people who suffer with mental health issues, they, for numerous reasons, they find it difficult to talk about it, to open up to it, to open up about it. That could be due to shame, or that could be due to anxiety. It could be that they're worried that they're going to be judged, they're worried that people won't want to listen, they're maybe embarrassed to talk about it. So the more people actually talk about it, about their story, the more people, especially the public figures who actually open up about it, it gives people more courage to talk about it, to think it's, you know, and seek help sooner. So it's a really, for me, it's a really, really important. For me, it's a really, really important message, and he says there's no quick fix, and the way that people deal with grief and deal with depression are different. She's right. There's no shame in being vulnerable. So that's my wrap up for June. 6 books for me is quite a lot. I am currently reading Alex in Wonderland. After all those books, I feel like I wanted a bit of comedy, a bit of relief. So a palate cleanser, if you like. I'm that much through, so almost halfway. So and that's really fun. So let me know if you've read any of those books, and what your thoughts are about that, or let me know what your wrap up is for June. What are you currently reading? Yeah, so if you like this, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. That's my phone.